Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your channel of Math and Engineering Made Easy. Today, we are going to start working with operations on functions. So if we are given functions, how do you add them, subtract them, multiply or divide them? And then we are going to learn something new, which is composite functions. And it's important because later we are going, so in the next and last sessions on functions, we are going to learn how to find the inverse of functions and what are the conditions for a function to be invertible or to have an inverse. Okay, so let's start. The first part is so easy. We have here, I don't know, should we do odd or even? I think even is better because I have multiplication. I don't have multiplication in the odds, and I have 2 or 6 more problems, so I think we do evens. Or you know what? We can take mixtures because we have addition, we have subtraction, we have multiplication here. There is a lot of subtractions, like 4 of them are subtracted. There is not enough to do one. Okay, there is no division here, but the concept is the same. So let me use this paper so I can enlarge it if it's not clear. For the first 3 problems, they give you 2 functions. One of them is called f of x, and it's basically negative 5x to the 7 halves plus 5 times x to the 3 quarters. And they give you g of x. I'm going to write it underneath it, so when we add or subtract, you can see how easy it is. This is 6x to the 7 halves plus 4x to the 3 quarters. Notice that if we have, we can only add terms when they have the same variable as well as the same exponent. So I can add these 2 or those 2. I can subtract them, but I cannot add these 2 or those 2. In multiplication, of course, you can, but for addition and subtraction, they have to be exactly the same. So if you take the numbers out, you have to see the same exact representation. Okay, x to the 3 quarter, x to the 3 quarter, x to the 7 halves, x to the 7 halves. So number 1, it says just add them up. Duh. I have negative 5 plus 6 is 1. We don't try the 1, so I say x to the 7 halves. Then I have 5 and 4, so plus 9 x to the 3 quarters. Do you see how easy it is? The second one, and then I'm going to do the 1, 2, 4. The second one, or we can do them all. I don't know why. Okay, g of x minus f of x. So the bottom minus the top. Okay, so you have to say 6 minus negative 5 is 6 plus 5 is 11 x to the 7 halves. And then 4 minus 5 is minus x to the 3 quarters. This one is f of x minus g of x, which would be exactly the opposite. So it would be negative 11 x to the 7 halves plus x to the 3 quarters. So I don't see why we have to do that. Okay. Next, they give you f of x is 2x minus 5, and g of x is negative 6x plus 1. So question number 4 say f of x times g of x. Well, we are going to do it. It's like if you write them next to each other, you can use FOIL. You can FOIL, or you simply like you do any multiplication, algebraic multiplication. You multiply these terms, so you get 2 times negative 6 is negative 12, and x times x is x squared. Then negative 6 times negative 5 is positive 30x. Then you get plus 2x minus 5. So that's it. Negative 12x squared plus 32x minus 5. And then they tell you, for example, let's do number 6, f of x minus g of x, so top minus bottom. 2x minus negative 6x is 2x plus 6x, it's 8x. Negative 5 minus 1 is negative 6. So you see they are extremely easy. Then we come to the next part, which talks about composite functions. Let's write down the two functions. F of x equals 3x minus 3. G of x is negative 2x squared. And h of x is 2x minus 5 over 3. And then they give you 3. Let's do all 3 of them. They want you to do h of f of 2. That is called the composite function, and we work from inside out. How? It says, the inside says f of 2, so I have to evaluate f of 2 first. F of 2 instead of f of x. Do you see I replace the x by the 2? So every time you see an x, you replace it by 2. 3x meaning 3 times x. So I'm going to say it's 3 times 2. Minus 3. 3 times 2 is 6, minus 3 is 3. So f of 2 is 3. So this is as if I said, what is h of 3? Do you see that? So f of 2, you replace in the f function every x with 2. 3 times 2 minus 3 is 6 minus 3 or 3. Now that instead of saying h of f of 2, I can say h of 3. I go to the h equation and every time I see an x, I replace it by 3. Here I replace by 2, here I replace by 3. So h of 3 equals 2 times 3 minus 5 over 3 equals 6 minus 5 over 3 equals 1/3. Next, they tell you what is h of g of negative 4. Stop the video and do it on your own, and then start again and check your answer. I have to show you the g and the h. Okay, so g of negative 4, first of all, you have to do you evaluate g of negative 4 equals negative 2, that's a constant, x, no, negative 4, right? Square. So it's negative 2 times 16, positive 16, equals negative 32. I hope you got this part right. Then h of that is h of negative 32 equals. I come here and say 2 times negative 32 minus 5 over 3 equals negative 64 minus 5 over 3 equals negative 69 over 3 equals negative 23. So this part is negative 23. Again, pause the video and do f of h of 10. Okay, let's do it. So we start with h of 10. H of x, h of 10, x 10. So 2 times 10 instead of 2 times x minus 5 over 3 equals 20 minus 5 over 3 equals 15 over 3 equals 5. So this becomes f of 5. See how simple it is? And we can do multiple compositions. F of 5 equals f of x is 3x minus 3. So 3 times 5 minus 3 equals 15 minus 3 equals 12. So f of h of 10 is 12. Okay? Pretty straightforward, I think. It's important, but because we will need it to invert functions next session. I have 6 more. I don't know. Should we do all 6? Yeah. I'll use the back of this page. Now they give you f of x equals 3x squared minus 5x. G of x is 6x plus 5. And h of x is x minus 3. The first part says f of g of x. They didn't give me numbers. But so what? That's even easier. No, I didn't mean easier. It means you are going to say, here is g of x. So instead of g of x, I'm going to write 6x plus 5. So this is as if I'm saying f of 6x plus 5. Oh, now I'm confused. You shouldn't be. Why? Because I said, if this is f of x, then every time you see an x here, you replace it by 6x plus 5 instead of a number like last time. So I'm going to say 3x squared, no, 6x plus 5 quantity square minus 5x, no, 6x plus 5. First, I'm going to expand that. So I get 3 times 36x squared. 6 times 5 is 30 times 2 is 60. So plus 60x. 5 squared is 25. Minus. I distribute the 5 or the negative 5. So negative 5 times 6 is negative 30x. Negative 5 times 5 is negative 25. Then I'm also going to distribute the 3. So I get 108x squared plus 180x plus 75. And then I'm going to subtract 30x. Let me write it underneath the x and minus 25. So at the end of the day, this guy becomes 108x squared. 180 minus 30 is 150x. And 75 minus 25 is 50. Okay? Next, they want you to do h of g of x. But g of x is 6x plus 5. So now when I go to the h function, every time I see x, I replace it by 6x plus 5. X, 6x plus 5. Minus 3, minus 3. So it's 6x plus 2. It's as simple as that, 6x plus 2. Last one, g of f of x. What is f of x? F of x is 3x squared minus 5x. Here is g of x. So every time I see x, I replace it by 3x squared minus 5x. I have 6 times 3x squared minus 5x plus 5. So it's 18x squared minus 30x plus 5. You distribute the 6, you get 18x squared. You distribute the 6, you get minus 30x. And then you have a plus 5 at the end. Maybe we'll finish this part. They give us f of x equals 2x squared plus x. G of x equals 4x minus 3. And h of x equals negative 2x squared. So I want you to do the first one. F of g of x. Pause the video and do it. Okay, so if you came back, f of g of x is f of, instead of g of x, you write 4x minus 3. Now, every x would be replaced by 4x minus 3. 2, 4x minus 3 quantity square plus 4x minus 3. I'm going to expand that, so I get 16x squared minus 24x plus 9. Square of the first minus twice the first times the second plus the second square plus 4x minus 3. So distribute the 2, I get 32x squared minus 48x plus 18. And then I'm going to add 4x and I'm going to subtract 3. So I get 32x squared minus 44x plus 15. Hopefully you got this one right. Again, repeat it for the next one. G of f of x. Pause, and I'll do it, and you come back and check. So this becomes g of, and instead of f of x, I write 2x squared plus x. And g of x, every time I see an x here, I replace it by that. So I have 4x, it's 4 times 2x squared plus x minus 3. Distribute the 4, so I get 8x squared plus 4x minus 3. And finally, the last one, f of h of x. Again, pause and do it. This becomes f of h of x is given to me as negative 2x squared. So f of negative 2x squared. Meaning in this equation, every time I see an x, I replace it by negative 2x squared. It's 2, x squared. So it's negative 2x squared quantity squared. Every x, you replace it by negative 2x squared. Plus x, meaning plus negative 2x squared. So it is 2 times negative 2x squared squared. The negative 2 squared is positive 4. The x squared squared is x to the 4. Positive times negative is negative 2x squared. So I get 8x to the 4 minus 2x squared. And that's it. I hope it was pretty straightforward. I don't see anything hard in adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing functions or composite functions. We have to understand the meaning of that, because next session we are going to complete this topic by finding the inverse of functions. And we see, as I said, there are conditions for a function to have an inverse. And we will need the composition of function, because there is a trick to check your answer and see if it really is the inverse or not. Okay, so until then, I wish you all the best. Again, if you have any question or anything is unclear, please let me know, and I will try to clarify it for you. Thank you for your watching, and I wish you all the best. See you tomorrow.